What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to The Breakdown. This is the series where I analyze subscriber gameplay to help you improve. In today's episode, we're going to be analyzing a team deathmatch gameplay on Precinct from Brad Lost the Sea. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so as always, we'll kick it off with the class that he decided to use. So we've got the Raw Fervor with a Reflex Sight, Quick Draw, Foregrip, and Suppressor. For Lethal, we've got a Seeker Grenade, and Tactical, we got a Blackout Grenade. And then perk 1, we've got Ghost, and perk 3, we have Dead Silence. Now this class, I would personally change a few things around here. First off, I would personally get rid of the grip in this situation here. Quick Draw and Suppressor and a Sight are excellent on the Raw LMG. Grip, yes, it's going to help a little bit, but it's such a small amount that it's going to be helping that I just feel like it's better to take off the foregrip, free up 2 extra class points because it's that third attachment on your Raw, and then you could use it for something like a launcher. A launcher would have been very valuable on this class in this game because, a little bit of a spoiler here, his team kind of got destroyed pretty hard by the enemy team and there were a lot of streaks up in the air. A launcher would have been extremely valuable to use. Also, he could have popped on something like Dexterity, or he could have popped on like Cold-Blooded or Hardline or something along those lines. Just something that's going to be helping him much more often than that foregrip ever would. Also, this is more of a personal preference thing. He's running a Lethal and a Tactical, and we're going to talk about this a little bit in the gameplay. They did nothing but get in the way as he was playing. He would have been better off without these things. But I do realize for a lot of players that Lethal and that Tactical is very helpful, and it a lot of times will get them kills that they wouldn't normally be able to get. So I'm not going to say it's wrong to use a Lethal and Tactical. Just want to say in this particular gameplay, those were actually harming him more than anything. So hopping into the gameplay here, the first thing I noticed in his opening route is he doesn't seem to realize exactly where the clash points are going to be. He comes around to throw a stun around this corner, and nobody on the enemy team could realistically get to the point that he was stunning where those stairs are. He's going to instead clash with them on the hallway to his right, where this guy just came around the corner. That's where the enemy is going to get to you first, that's the clash point, and that's the part you have to be most concerned with. If you are going to be rushing middle on this map from that side, which I don't normally recommend running to middle, but if you made that decision to go towards middle, the right move is to use this as cover like this. Just pre-aim him, use that cover to your advantage. He doesn't have any cover, so it'll normally just be a free kill for you. Now coming up right here, this is a great example of why pushing towards the middle is often a bad idea. If you look at this position right now, before we even know where any of the enemies actually are, let's just have a look at the minimap right now. He's already got teammates pushing middle, so we know that's generally safe, or at least, like, he doesn't have to worry too much about the middle area. Look at his flanks, both left and right. There's no teammates there at all. That means there's a good chance that enemies could be there, and he could be shot from so many directions right now, but he's focusing on a direction that he doesn't need to be focusing on. It's a safe direction, like I said. This is why I feel in Team Deathmatch, pushing towards the edges of the map is almost always going to be the best move to make. That's not to say that you can never push towards middle every now and then, but as a rule of thumb, sticking towards the edges of the map is going to allow you to maximize success in Team Deathmatch. Now right here, I just wanted to say this is an excellent use of cover, great job with that. A lot of players would have just jumped out into the open and tried to challenge that guy. You use cover to your advantage, and that was great. But right here, perfect example of how Lethals and Tacticals can sometimes just get in the way and screw you up more than anything. This is why I tend to avoid using Lethals and Tacticals. I find that the amount of times that they screw you over is quite a few. And it was unfortunate that he hit that railing there. It didn't look like he was going to, but it happens. Now right here is just another thing I wanted to point out. He sprinted around this corner into the middle map area. The middle map area on Precinct, especially in TDM, if you don't have teammates in there, there's almost always going to be an enemy there. People always fight for this power position, so if you are deciding to attack that area, basically attack it knowing that there are going to be enemies there, and likely set up on cover as well. And he just sprinted right around that corner. He got a little bit lucky that his teammate was there to distract the enemies, and he did manage to actually pick up 2 kills, but it was a very risky move to make, and if you were to run that situation 9 times out of 10, you would just get dropped very, very quickly. Now skipping ahead just a little bit, as he comes off spawn here, he knows the enemies are up in this area, and he picks off the first kill. That's great. This is where there was an issue. He has no cover, the enemy has the cover as well as the height advantage over him, and he decides to stick it out and try to challenge that enemy. He definitely should have died in this scenario. He did manage to finish the kill, so that's great, but overall, this was not the right move to make, and he should have died here. The right move to make would be to either back off and try to flank around, or get to the piece of cover that was behind him a little bit and on the right, and challenge him from that position there. Always try to be stacking the odds in your favor, and when you recognize the odds aren't in your favor, get out of that situation. Now, skipping ahead a little bit, we're coming back to that topic of precinct TDM. If you don't have teammates in the middle of the map, always expect enemies to be there and be there set up behind cover. In this situation right here, he wasn't checking his minimap very well, and there was an enemy set up on cover right where you should have expected him to be, and this was an easily avoidable death. So for the last situation we're going to be looking at here, this is just showing the importance of knowing the map and knowing the spots on the map. And this is where my Maps Exposed series comes in. In this situation right here, if he would have used my Maps Exposed spot, he would have potentially picked off like 3 kills and also avoided this death. This is the spot I'm talking about right here. Very, very powerful position as you come out of that back alley spawn. It would have been great for him to use that. Unfortunately, this is a pretty old gameplay, so it's not like my episode was out by this time or anything. But I just feel like that shows the importance of knowing the little things with the maps. They can help you in a lot of situations. So that's the end of the game there. He ended up leading his team going 14-18. So it was kind of unfortunate. He did get the short end of the stick with teammates, but at the same time, there was lots of room for personal improvement with himself, and he could have potentially done at least personally better. I don't think he could have turned the tides on this game and turned this around. I don't care how good you are. It probably wasn't going to happen. His team overall just got destroyed. But at the same time, you got to focus on yourself and what you can personally do to improve, and there was room for improvement here. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of The Breakdown. If you guys have a gameplay that you'd like me to potentially analyze in a future episode, all you have to do is send a link to an unlisted YouTube video with raw gameplay that's at least 720p in quality. It's got to be HD. Send that link to the email address in the description below. I might have a look at it, and you just might see it pop up in a future episode of The Breakdown. Keep in mind though, I do get a lot of submissions, so there's no promises on that. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.